This is Steve Meehan for the Kent Pilot. I'm pleased to welcome back Paul Tu. Paul is co-chair of the Social Action Committee for Racial Justice.
Good morning. Thank you for having me back. It's a pleasure.
Paul, earlier this summer, you joined us to discuss the 100 Days of Action for Racial Justice. How do you feel about the progress that initiative has made?
We feel good about it. I definitely feel good about it. We were able to issue our challenges through our social media on Facebook, and with some lively conversation, some lively debate around those challenges. I was able to see a lot of people share those challenges then on their personal page. It was stuff like, just how to open your eyes around race and racism, get a more diverse group of friends, find some black people who you don't know who aren't in your circle and have a conversation and listen to them. And the challenges they were all thought provoking and good challenges. We were able to have a movie night, and that was super challenging for Arlene to put together via Zoom. We couldn't get everybody together like at Sumner Hall or outside to watch the movie. So we did the movie Best of Enemies. And that was a really good movie. We had two guests come in and hold a conversation for them around that after the movie was over on a Saturday night. Wanda Boyer, who's a member of our steering committee, she was able to partner up with Heather Mazur, and they did a book club around a book called White Privilege. So through these 100 days, we've been moving, and I feel really good about our initiatives and where we stand.
You've also been active in meeting with the local law enforcement officials and the sheriff about police reform. How do you feel about progress on that front?
Optimistic. Going into each of those meetings, I think that myself and then my co-chair, Arlene Lee, we came out of those meetings pleasantly surprised. Like, we're going into these meetings with each respective representative from Rock Hall, Chestertown, and then Kent County Police Department, Sheriff Department, and we're asking them to meet us and make some reforms and some changes. You don't know what kind of opposition you're going to run into asking somebody to change up how they do things. So I came into it, I can't speak for Arlene, but I came into it kind of like ready to debate, ready to argue, and draw a firm line in the sand, so to speak. And we really didn't have to do that. I think all three meetings went well. State's Attorney Brian DeGregory, he was in all three of those meetings. One of the biggest takeaways for me was the fact of the willingness of all three departments to open up and have a conversation. The biggest win, I would say, would be the duty to intervene, right? And we have those now in all three departments.
And when you mean duty to intervene, why don't you explain that?
All right, so George Floyd would probably still be alive if they had a duty to intervene in place when the incident happened, when the 8 minutes and 46 seconds. So if me and you are out on a call, right, and I jump out and I'm doing stuff less than becoming of an officer, if I'm getting too rough with somebody that we're dealing with, you don't have to protect that blue line. You have a duty to intervene if you see me doing something wrong. And we have that in place now in all three of our departments.
The Black Lives Matters mural installation begins this weekend. What is on tap for that effort?
So Mariah Woods, Arlene Lee, and Wanda Boyer, they've put together a list of volunteers. They in respects to COVID-19, you had to sign up for groups, small groups, I think 3 to 6 people at different time slots. And we'll follow that order. If you were able to sign up, then you come for your allotted time, make your contribution.
And if you want to sign up, how do you get in touch with
those spots went in 48 hours. Therefore,
Wow.
actually, what the ladies did in their genius, they got together and came up with some more volunteer activities. So I think people are going to be manning like the snack station. We're going to have people enforcing social distancing, making sure everybody stays hydrated. And if you want to sign up for those, if they aren't full, I think it would be best probably to reach out to Arlene Lee on Facebook or even Wanda on Facebook for those volunteer spots.
Last spring, as COVID-19 was closing us down, you helped start the Kent Feed the Elderly initiative. What made you decide to start that program?
Working with the school-age kids and the breakfast bags, getting those out to that population, we immediately realized that it was a need for our senior citizens as well. So we wanted to encompass our two most vulnerable populations. We had the kids covered, so the next step would be to cover the elderly, and that's what we did.
And who are some of the partners involved with that project?
Wow, who's not a partner, right? So definitely Sumner Hall, they played a big part in that for us. KLM, they helped Washington College. I would consider them a partner because we stored a lot of our stuff there. Kent County Parks and Rec and the wonderful Myra Butler, they were a big partner.
You operated out of the Kent County Community Center,
Yes,
correct?
sir.
In Wharton.
Yep.
The project has recently received federal funding. How has that impacted the effort?
So that federal funding is going to carry the program up until December. All right. So we haven't had to spend any of the money that we were able to collect through donations. We've been able to use the federal money. Another caveat of that is we've had some dedicated volunteers who had their feet on the ground since March. And now through this federal money, we're able to put a little bit of money in their pocket. We're able to pay them for some of their work. So that's the biggest impacts, right? And it allows us to continue to buy meat and food, produce, and everything. But it also, you had people volunteering that long for nothing, and we still had to make them take a salary. But they're able to take a little bit of money now home. So,
As part of your fundraising efforts, you have launched the Paul II Challenge. What is that, and how did that come about?
all right. So yeah, I didn't launch it, but I was a benefactor of the wonderful Carla Masoni and Arlene Lee. Carla's representing the organization Women Helping Women, and they had a little bit of money left. Carla was impressed with the work that Arlene, myself, and everybody else had done with the Feed the Kids and the Feed the Elderly initiative, and she likened it to a past angel that we had here in Kent County, who's still in Kent County, Dr. Boria. She had done a lot of stuff well before I guess I got here down in Rock Hall. She one of the biggest things was putting together a clinic where people could come get little to low cost health care, focused on women, focused on the Latino population, I believe. And Carla had a conversation with Arlene, and she was like, this is in that same wheelhouse. And with us winding down with having a little bit of money, let's figure out a way to grow this money. And the Paul II Challenge was born through those two wonderful ladies having a conversation.
How much has the challenge raised to date?
I don't have the exact number. What I will say, I was blown away. We started, the goal was 5,000, quickly surpassed that to 10,000. Carla raised it again to 15,000, and we're over 15,000 at closing. We closed September 1st was the last day. So even though the challenge is closed on September 1st because of the generosity of everybody that donated, and us hitting that $15,000 mark, we mentioned earlier the federal funds, they will expire in December. So if you're still interested in making a donation to the Feed the Elderly program, you can do that through Sumner Hall. You can go right on their website. I believe it's a tab that you can hit, and we're still accepting donations at this time.
Awesome. And as we head into the fall and winter, what else is on tap for you and the Social Action Committee for Racial Justice?
We're not slowing down. We plan on continuing to use the momentum and continue to keep our foot on the pedal. We're looking at bringing in some youth, right? So we have STAR students talking about race in the social action fold, but we want to expand on that and kind of get that transitional age population, that 17 to 24-year-old, with some early talks with Alicia Mosley up at Washington College. She's the women's basketball coach up there, about getting athletes more involved in social action. They had some issues up there at Washington College, and they want to be more visible in the community. And we'll continue to chip away at our initiatives. We're looking at Chestertown Unites Against Racism, and we're going to figure out how we can best help in that initiative, and we'll just keep plugging away.
Paul II, thank you for joining us. For the Kent Pilot, this is Steve Meehan.
Thank you for having me back. It's always a pleasure to come up here and talk with you. I hope I'll see you again soon. And also, I definitely want to take the time to thank Carla Masoni and Women Helping Women for the chance and the Paul II Challenge.